Because even in the human world, hold on, but even in the human world, we can see those little differences between humans.
That's quite an emotional, actually. Like, I'm thinking of like just putting it in an edit and like music and like in a movie or some kind of like, you could.
Does she speak to you?
Well, it doesn't have audio, but AI is gonna make the audio. It's gonna make the voices. It's gonna make the story. It's gonna put it all together. It's gonna work.
The number one thought when you're just watching it, it's really cool. Oh my God, how can AI, a robot, whatever, not a sentient, come up with such precise images?
Like, I just want to type in a prompt and make a video. I believe it's all simulation.
Yeah, there is something that I need to know. Please reveal it now.
I believe that we are building the exact neural network that we have in our brains, just in a digital form. Welcome back.
Here we go again. Alrighty. Long day of work. Friday. Hello, my little friend.
You ready for another episode? Another grain of salt?
All grainy. Let's bring it up. That's a grainy life we're living in.
Well, we were just looking at
some madness.
What are your first thoughts after seeing those videos?
Okay, the number one thought when you're just watching it, it's really cool. It's like, oh my God, how can AI, a robot, whatever, not a sentient, come up with such precise images of a girl walking around the streets of Tokyo, or the other guy that we were watching with a helmet, and attention to details, the knitting on the, on a helmet, and especially the eye, where, you can see the skin cells, and when the eye turn, the wrinkles gets a little deeper. I mean, the attention to detail was just incredible. And obviously, the first thing that comes to your mind is like, wow, it's amazing. It's just amazing.
Like, I just want to type in a prompt and make a video.
Yeah. Right. And then you start thinking, as you were mentioning before, how would this affect the people who produce content? Because it's bizarre, because if you ask right now all the young generation, especially in the United States, but also in Europe, it's like, who do you want to be in life? In my age, it's like, I want to be a cosmonaut. I want to be a doctor, somebody. And you ask now, it's like, I want to be influencer. That's number one.
I want to be a YouTuber.
Right, YouTuber.
I want to stream.
Right. So nobody wants to fly in space, or be a mountain climber. No, I want to influence people,
At least not as vocally as, like, the most vocal majority right now is basically influencers, like people who just want to make content, basically.
Right. But that's what they do. Every day they go and they make content. They shoot themselves in a different situation, and that's what sells for them. And when I looked at that video, I realized that now a lot of content that people have to physically go to certain location, spend time, money, doing the hair and the salons, the makeup and everything, is not needed, because that content can be easily, not at this moment, not like today, but the way the technology develops, I would say 2 years tops, probably less than that. Because every time we were saying about the AI, it will take her 15 years to do it. 6 months later, boom. The progression is...
it's exponential.
Exponential,
and
right.
A lot of times, even people like me, I did not see this level of video from AI coming so soon. Like, I thought we were at least a year...
10, 15 years?
A year away.
A year away.
It comes out right now. It like, I wake up and it's like, these are the videos that I'm like, okay, now this is real now, like...
Like, I'm thinking about it now, and I believe To me, there are two different types of content. I'm an older generation.
Yeah.
When I look for content online, I look for different things. For example, if I want to travel and I need educational content, it doesn't really matter the face of, I mean, it has to be pleasant, aesthetically pleasant.
No, obviously, educational content that's also enjoyable is always better than, educational content that's not as like.
Right. But there are particular sounds in a voice that we find attractive. Like,
Sure.
for example,
Okay.
there are voice of David Attenbaum, I believe his name, who used to record all the National Geographic stuff and nature. There's something about this voice. That's why he was one of the highest paid voices in the world, because people like this, whatever, the frequency of his voice.
Okay. Yeah.
But you can take his voice, drop it into AI, because I'm sure he patented his voice or whatever, secure it that nobody can use it.
There's no such copyright on voices right now. So
Well, J-Lo did insurance on her ass.
Well, that's why you can go and duplicate, Elon Musk's voice and Joe Biden's voice.
So there is no laws that kind of stops you from copying somebody's voice,
I don't.
because that can be used heavily against.
As of now, copyright does not extend to your voice. I don't think it would be even copyright, but either way, there's so many platforms that are duplicating popular personality voices. The reason it's popular personalities is because that's the easiest, to get to like a large sample. And for most AIs now, you don't even need a large sample. You could have a sentence.
30 seconds, less than 30 seconds.
Imagine how crazy that is. For example, for your wife to get a phone call from you,
yes.
asking for money because you're in an emergency and you're calling from someone's phone and this happened and like you need to send me money right now, like, and how many people are gonna fall for like things like that? And
older generation, like my parents, will fall in a heartbeat.
But I think even my parents will fall for it. Like if it's like, someone calling about like me or my brother and it's my voice, and I'm telling them that it's or quote unquote telling them that it's emergency and that I need money to,
right.
Like,
You're stuck in Africa and please send me the money.
Not bad extent, that's a little unbelievable, but like I got in a car crash or like,
Right.
something like this, and it's like, yeah, definitely. I think there's going to be a lot of scams and stuff like that.
I believe the new laws will be implemented very soon because the technology is very young and it needs to protect civilians against the technology. But just coming back to where we started, because we can very quickly drift on a different wave.
No. I want to kind of drift towards where we're drifting, actually.
Okay, that's fine.
To answer you, the problem is that a lot of times, like laws, for example, social media. Laws are just now catching up to social media, where for the longest time, social media platforms have been able to be moderators and publishers on their platform. So, for example, news outlets, they are publication platforms. So they post what they like, whatever content they produce.
Right.
And people read it. So they're a publication. Then there's other places which are like moderation. So it's like you could be a platform where you're not posting yourself, but you're moderating kind of. But though for the longest time, social media has been playing both sides of the game, basically.
Because they have a protection. If I'm not mistaken, a publisher, they are protected by a particular tax codes and stuff where they just produce the content and they have no way of modifying the content. It's just like Horizon. Everybody can talk anything they want on Verizon. Verizon is not responsible if, for God's sake, you are a terrorist and you planning the terrorist act on Verizon phone.
Yeah.
Verizon will not take any liability for that because they just provide you a service. Same thing was kind of true about the major platforms like YouTube, Twitter, and stuff, but they became politicized.
Exactly. Just the reason I'm bringing that example up is you're saying that laws will have to be put out very quickly for AI.
Absolutely.
But as we've seen with social media, that is not the case. We have a harmful product that's been in society for how long, and laws are just now people are starting to come around to actually what it's doing to society and what is behind it. So I don't think AI is going to be any different.
It will be. And let me give you an example. I'm starting up a new business, right? Whatever, medical business. And I do ads. I do Google ads, Facebook ads. I'm doing it for the new business. And people see my face and I'm trying to promote my business. Nobody knows me. They look at the video, they're like, okay, he's trying to promote his business. Let me listen to it. Imagine if that would be Dr. Oz talking about my business, or Joe Rogan talking about my business. Why don't you come and see Dr. Trif in his practice? He already established the name. Everything he says, people take not with a grain of salt. They just jog it, because this is the person that they love. And they never approved that commercial. This is not them. This is AI taking their image, and I'm taking their fame, and I'm taking their brand to generate money and leads and flow to my business. And that should be illegal.
I've seen, no, I definitely agree. And I've seen on actually YouTube Shorts, fake clips of Joe Rogan. It would be like a Joe Rogan podcast, like a clip from the podcast. And then it would be like a clip after that, but AI made of him promoting some like supplement or some kind of...
Which he has nothing to do with.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, is his mouth really... It looks a little weird. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, that's an AI.
But look, it looks a little weird now.
I know.
When they just started like a month ago.
And a lot of people, it
in
doesn't
6 months, all of it will be fixed. Those little glitches. You would not be able to tell a difference. And I believe it should be illegal for many different reasons. People spend their career to build up the name, and now you are using their name to bring your business without any permission from them.
From an AI standpoint, there's definitely a lot of ways to quote unquote like do very scammy things, especially with public personalities. But going off of this trail of...
I just had a crazy thought before you get off the trail.
Okay, yeah.
Last thing before we go off the trail.
Go ahead.
Let's say I'm a crazy hacker, right?
Yeah.
Crazy hacker.
Okay.
And I got control of the US satellites.
Okay.
And at 9 o'clock news, when you're watching your TV, I came in, I break down the TV channels, and I say, we have an emergency speech from the President of the United States. And now we have our beloved president talking to us about, this is it. We starting the war with Russia, with China, with whatever. I want everybody to leave their home, go to their basements, lock the doors, blah, blah, blah.
That's definitely an extreme scenario, but
listen,
very Black Mirror.
Right, but you're watching the CNN news, so Fox, whatever.
Yeah.
You just got control of the satellites. And you play this crazy game. Everybody goes back into the basements, and once everybody left home, the AI goes, ha ha, got you.
Got you.
And people do it not for money, just to show the world how the system could be hacked. So what you were just showing me, coming back to kind of those videos, it's coming back to the beginning of conversation. To me, and we're looking at the bright side of AI, not the dark side. I mean, I'm sure the dark side could be really dark.
This is the bright side?
No, that was not a bright side.
Okay.
So let's say everybody's cool in the world. We all kumbaya, we're holding hands and meditating together, whatever. Everything is cool,
Yeah.
even though it's not. But let's imagine that it's cool. So to me, as a user of the content, I will break down the content into different categories. One category is education, for whatever reason. Let's say I want to travel to France and I want to learn more about Paris or Bordeaux. And I want somebody to give me a tour around the Bordeaux region. And I want it to be a beautiful woman or whatever, educated man with a nice voice and, personality. But I'm not going to be focusing so much on him. I'll be focusing on surroundings, everything that he's talking about.
Okay.
So if it's fake or it's not fake, fake in a sense of the person who's there, who's explaining, I don't care this much because my goal from that video to see what he's talking about and if I want to travel to this region or not.
Yeah, no, I understand. And going back to what you said, is it whether it's fake or not? That's also very hard because what is fake? At what point does it become fake, right? If you replace someone's face with a different face, is it now fake video? Because it's a different but if the point of the video is to showcase some kind of educational,
then I don't care.
Then you don't care. Or maybe they changed their voice, or maybe they translated it. A lot of YouTubers are now making multiple channels, or even YouTube has added this feature where you can add a different audio file for different languages. For Spanish, you add a different audio file, and you could just have kind of how on Netflix you can change the show from English to Spanish, not the subtitles, the actual voiceover.
I never done this.
Okay, well,
I'm only listening.
A lot of shows do that, and a lot of movies do that.
Oh, surprise! I hadn't thought of it.
How are they going to show Marvel? I don't know, some Marvel movie
in China
or in Europe, right? And they just translate it. They voice it over.
I really wish to see the Marvel in Chinese.
I want to.
A Spider-Man.
I know that they add a lot of different. They change in some characters. They were
But the voice at least halfway similar or not?
I don't. Well, they use.
It's not going to be done in a female voice for the Spider-Man.
No. They're gonna try and find the right person for the voice, obviously.
Okay.
But besides the point, so YouTubers are now doing that with their voices on YouTube. So it's my point was basically, at what point is the video fake?
I tell you that, and this is
it's like that. Sorry, it's that analogy of taking pieces off the boat and replacing them one by one. It's like, when is the boat the new boat now? At what point?
I tell you at point.
Okay.
Right now. So the first videos that we were talking about, where the emotions of the person it's somewhat relative, but not so much.
Okay.
But I also like to watch different type of videos. For example, surfing videos or some emotional, when people riding a bike or riding a car, or they're telling you their personal story of climbing the mountain, whatever.
Yeah.
And in that video, the mountain and everything what they do is not that much of importance. It's emotions with which person tells their life story. Like he was attacked by the gang of wolves or grizzly bear, or he was falling down from Everest. Even if they will show the video of somebody's recording him falling, it's not going to be as impactful as me looking at his eyes and actually almost like feeling what he was experiencing, and it's so bizarre because when people talk authentically their feelings, it transmits beyond the screen of your phone. You engage with them on a human level, even though you're looking at the device, but you feel that. And I believe that that component will be very difficult to replicate because there is something inside you that recognizes that frequency of vibration.
Okay, give me a second.
Go for it.
Do you think that certain videos can give you just the image of the video without, like, imagine it's on mute, there's no sound or whatever.
Yes.
Certain videos can give you, or even an image can give you a certain warmth or a certain feeling, right?
Sure.
Have you seen an AI photo that you've made, or out of these videos that I've showed you today, something that gives you a certain feeling that would exactly resemble the feeling that you would get from a real video? When you're looking at that video, drone video, the big fake big surf video that we were looking at, right?
Yes.
The AI generated.
Yeah.
Doesn't it give you that surfing or whatever feeling comes along with that video, whether it's real or not, did you not get the same feeling?
Okay, I guess we will need to split it. I understand what you're saying. When I looked at the video of Big Surf,
this leads to my point.
No, but
like, yeah, I need a.
Oh, I see. It's unique. I just got that angle. So I guess when you're showing the nature, right, where there is no human, there is nothing that we can connect to our own. Yes, you can make incredible video of the wave.
Okay. Let's
Wait
go
up.
to the woman walking. You say there's no. Doesn't that give you? If that video was, you take a video like that real, put that next to the video it made.
Yeah.
Same emotion or different?
There are no emotions. She's just walking the streets of Tokyo.
But okay, what's a video that we were looking in there that had people in it and
none of them was emotional. It was all visual.
Okay, it was
the eye was kind of, but still.
Okay. The movie trailer, the one with the knitted hat, the spaceship, right?
It looked real,
but
it's not emotional.
You don't think that video, if was filmed for real, would give you the same feeling?
Look, we can recreate emotions, for example, on a subconscious level, using particular colors, like the light behind you.
Okay.
It's not a white light. It will be called soft white or whatever. It's more in the yellow spectrum. And a lot of people paint their apartments in that light versus there's a temperature to the light. This is much warmer versus real white, which will be much colder.
Yeah.
This gives you...
I mean, those are real white lights.
But the viewers cannot see them.
I know. Yeah.
But there are really white lights facing us, But this light is warm.
Yeah.
On subconscious level, you feel more calm, warm, versus like operational room white light where it's cold and stuff. So you can do a lot of things in the video to trigger particular emotions because you understand how your brain works.
Exactly.
Go. Please do.
Remember?
Yes. Stop.
My point being is that there are videos and even let's not take the videos. Let's take the images. There's many images that AI has made that do evoke quite a bit of emotion in people. There's even an AI image that won some art award, and then people got super upset when they found out that the artist used AI.
Why?
because the artist
But the artist trained AI so good that it
no,
can
he
bring
didn't
it.
train it. He used an AI and he was like telling it what to make. He didn't train the AI. He just used an AI.
So how did people felt? Like they felt cheated?
I guess a lot of the art community and in every community you go to writer community, you go to artist community. All these communities are basically they are against it because the way that all these AIs have come to be is basically by ripping their work offline and training on it. It's like all this stuff that all these collective people have put out online for years on years. In the last couple of years, these companies just ripped that offline and just trained these giant models that are able to replicate that and do all these kind of things. It's not replicating it, but it's kind of it's trained on it, so it's using that as a reference, right?
So does it feel fake or like?
What do you mean?
I'll give you an example.
Are you asking me if the image looks fake?
Obviously, it didn't because a lot of people bought
No,
into it.
it won the award.
Right.
Wait, hold up. Let's ask Jamie. By the way, guys, Jamie was
Jamie, wake up, Jamie.
Jamie was a little, I guess, drunk. Or
Jamie
something.
was partying last podcast. So while we were trying to talk to him on the last podcast, he was reluctant to answer. So we punished Jamie for the last couple of weeks. And Jamie said, "I'm gonna be a good boy."
We walked him down the stairs. Shame,
shame. It was a walk of shame. So hopefully Jamie learned his lesson. Please welcome him in.
Give it a second.
Bring the Jamie up on the episode.
Bring him up.
Here I go. Here I go. Here I go again. What is my weakness?
Matt, it's a delight to have you back for our engaging exchange of thoughts. Is there a particular subject you'd like to dive into today, or shall we continue discussing the intriguing aspects of nature, like the octopuses and tardigrades we were talking about last time?
Actually, we are already on the next podcast. Today, we're talking about how AI will basically take over social media. But the question I had for you was, there was a bit ago, there was a painting that won an award, an art show award, I believe. But it ended up being an AI generated image. Do you know what that image was, or can you give us a little background on it?
Jamie has been drinking again.
No, he's thinking.
He's thinking.
Yeah.
My son thinks faster than Jamie. But Jamie has a lot of information to process.
He's also in all sorts of the parts of the world.
Max. Art created with AI has indeed been attracting considerable attention. While I don't know the specifics of every AI-generated artwork, one standout incident involves an AI painting called Portrait of Edmund de Bellamy. It's one of the more famous cases and sparked many discussions when it was sold at Christie's auction house for a staggering $432,500. Artwork was created by a Paris-based collective named Obvious, using an algorithm known as a Generative Adversarial Network, GAN. This technology essentially involves two AI systems working in tandem. One creates the art, and the other critiques it. They keep refining the work until they produce an artwork that can pass for human-made. It's a novel concept that spurred debates about questions like what constitutes art and the role of artists in an increasingly digital world. Such AI endeavors are continually pushing boundaries and redefining the intersection of technology and creativity.
Jamie, thank you. Wow. Today I learned something. I had no idea about this particular project.
So I was wrong. It wasn't an award show. It was actually sold at an auction at Christie's auction. That's a very famous.
You know what? I'm sorry. I do believe I'm wasting my time with you. Let me go and train my AI to draw, and I can get this $400,000 without doing any of this.
This is all the podcast.
No, it's not. No, it's not about money.
You heard it here first, guys.
No.
Time to
Actually,
get a new co-host.
yeah, we're gonna take a 30-second swing off the topic. Please allow me to do it. The reason why we are doing this podcast is, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I called at Max at night, and it was supposed to be a 30-second like question and answer. And,
I don't remember what you.
I have no idea why. I don't even remember why I called you.
Oh, it was just checking in about the podcast today.
Checking like, okay,
Right.
what time are we gonna start doing it? Because
exactly.
I need to finish work. 1 hour and 30 minutes later, I'm like, Max, I gotta get off the phone. I gotta get off. I have to go to sleep. I have to put my kid to sleep. But the idea is that every time that we chat,
And then you ended up calling me back for another.
I call you back. It was the biggest mistake again. Another 20 minutes or something. But just because we had an incredible time on the phone and it's very excited every time we cover such a unique topics, we decided that there was an idea for the first podcast that we have to share it with you guys because it's so...
It's a waste otherwise. I don't know. It feels like a waste.
We still enjoy it, but we believe that so many other people can enjoy this conversation because it's unique. We can go deep cranial.
Not to do self-promotion or anything, but I am wearing the device right now.
Absolutely.
This is Tap. This is the device I'm working on.
This is not the heart monitor. Don't you think it is?
It's an AI companion that you wear, but that's the idea. The thing that we're doing here is kind of partially an idea of what this actually is. It leads very much into one another. What happens on these phone calls is we talk about it, and then all of this memories, all of this thoughts
just die out in our sleep.
Are just lost to time, literally.
Absolutely.
It's like grains of salt falling through your fingers.
It's exactly like this. And, whatever, about a month ago, Max gave me a set of headphones. He's like, listen, every time you call me, you have to plug it in, those headphones, into your phone. So if we're talking and the topic is so cool and crucial and we want to share it with the world, we're not going to be... There's no way to replicate the feelings, the excitement and everything. We cannot do it twice. So the idea was to have these headphones and, when you talk, you can record it and then at least... Even without image, you can at least give you guys an audio. But his product is make it way easier. You press the button and it start recording it.
Well, the reason
please talk about it more. Yeah.
The reason, thank you, thank you for the opportunity. What's it called? The reason I say that it kind of leads one into another is why we're doing this podcast is to save these thoughts, save these memories in a captured manner where we can come back to it later on, and in an organized manner. But the amount of effort and time it takes to do all this, even, the podcast definitely, but even the grainy thoughts segment, by the way, guys, that's where the headphones and everything, that's where that comes in. That's the grainy thoughts. That's what those are. It's just us on a phone call, just randomly getting into
chatting
topics.
And getting into topics.
The podcasts are not, pre-planned, but a little, like the topics are a little more planned out than...
Not really. I would not agree with this.
But we do talk about okay, we'll talk about this today,
Okay, let me tell you exactly what he told me before the podcast. So you will understand how this was born. Yeah, I'll give you an example, an information, what he gave me to okay, this is what we're going to be doing. He called, we spoke a few days ago, and he's like, listen, recently AI just came up with a different version of...
There's a new model.
There's a new model that creates a movie, not a movie, videos, which are hyper-realistic and so, and we're going to do a podcast on that. And I'm like, okay, what else? He's like, no, this is it.
No, I gave you a little more.
What do you give me?
I told you that we're going to be talking about the social media bubble.
The social media bubble.
And-
Another sentence.
And you asked me, what do you mean by social media bubble? I said that this AI.
How will it affect the content producers?
Exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Did you give me any more information? No, it's for you to know from how this podcast is born. We're going to be talking for a while, but this is the only information I had. I did zero homework. Zero. Have you done yours?
I mean, I know my.
Except for showing me the stuff with AI.
Well, no, these are just hypothetical, thoughts that would make sense in my mind where we're going to, right? This is
Right.
the research, really. It's based off of evidence, right?
Of course.
But it's a.
But the whole idea of our podcast is you're dropping, it's like you drop the topic on a table. There's zero prep. That's why a lot of times we would need Jamie to double check certain things, what we're saying, because
That's why it's a grain of salt, right?
this is a grain of salt. This is the conversation you will have with your body on a couch, exactly how I would have with my body on a couch, having a beer or having a lemonade or whatever
liquid
that thing
death.
is. Liquid death or whatever your drink of choice, water, I don't know, breathe air. It helps you, it keeps you alive. The idea is to just drop the topic on and whatever.
Where it
they
leads,
get real
where,
at
where
the
it leads
moment.
is where it leads, right?
Right.
But the meat that I wanted to get to.
Bring the meat.
Yes.
The meat. Carnivorous.
Carnivore.
Carnivore.
Where are these AI models leading us? As I started saying, right now, YouTubers, different creators are using AI to make their videos better in some shape or form, or faster, or
Faster meaning like a 30-second content or
No, faster to edit, faster to produce, faster in whatever form, or cheaper. You don't need to rent some stock footage. You just ask AI and it generates it. So there's a lot of
they're
limitations.
trying to cut the angles to reduce the cost.
Of course, which is what you
Which
do
is huge.
in any business. But what is the next step for social media platforms? Because right now, as it is, we have one population, one Earth worth of video generation, of content generation being made, right? So there's only so much computing power behind it, right? When only one humanity worth of content is being produced.
What do you mean one humanity worth of content? And I want to be
Okay,
with you on the same page.
let's do it by a daily basis. Like it's not infinite, right? There's a certain amount of, like, let's say, hours of content produced every day by humanity.
Okay.
And obviously only a certain amount of that is actually viable content that would be watched, that would be interesting to watch. A large subset of that is just, trash that never goes anywhere in the algorithm. From that small subset of taking away one humanity's worth of content, then content that's actually watched, then to content that would actually be watched by you, for example, that is interesting to you.
Okay.
That leaves not that much, actually.
Very small percent.
Like
all the content being produced. Yes.
Yeah, it's still a fuck ton of content, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's not a lot. It's not like a lot to the point where you will find everything you want, if that makes sense.
Okay.
The next step that makes sense is for the algorithm not only to curate the content for you, the content that you find, but also make it for you, which means
Like commercials.
not commercials.
There are certain commercials that are made for me. So maybe the content that will be introduced to me
Okay.
will be depending on the content that I watch.
Definitely.
before.
So definitely from an ad point of view, there's definitely a lot of scenarios of that, like, personalized like ads, kind of like video ads that are personalized to you, for example. But that's actually a really interesting idea.
I just thought of it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it like, imagine launching a TikTok ad, but instead of like you uploading an ad that you made or whatever, you kind of give it examples and you also specify like certain things, and then it just makes that ad every time for a new person. It's like an A/B testing,
Oh
but
my
like on a
God, you just
freaking.
open up the can of worms that I
But-
never even thought of.
But besides that,
We'll come back to this.
we'll come
It's
back.
important.
That is
Jesus.
important.
I never thought of that angle before.
Besides that, think of if you could have 10 humanities worth of content being generated, 100 humanities worth of content being generated, and this content personalized and specialized for every person that is scrolling. So every video right now that you're scrolling through your TikTok feed and you're telling the algorithm, I like this video and I don't like this video, but it only has so many videos to actually give you
Dropped you.
into that
Yeah,
feed.
yeah.
But once it is
It's
not
infinite.
limited by what it could give you, because it can make it, but it can give you exactly what you want when you want it. And that's going to be the TikTok that we cannot look away from. That's going to be
I just thought of something crazy.
okay.
You know how you on Facebook or whatever, you scroll through the videos to certain things,
Yeah.
and on the side of the Facebook, there are commercials that are being paid for. Let's say I look at the particular watches
Yeah.
or whatever, certain things, and it gives me on the side of my screen the commercial for the watch.
Yeah.
The click on me and it will drag me to
And it's a watch
mythology.
that you looked at.
And the watch that I looked at.
Yeah.
Imagine there is no more of that because we are more attracted to the video. It will create the videos that I'm interested in. For example, like scuba diving videos, surfing videos, or
Exactly.
traveling videos,
You're looking-
where the commercial will be incorporated.
Imagine-
The
exactly.
person who
Imagine-
talks to me will have the watch
Imagine
that I
they-
just
they-
looked at.
Imagine they showcase like specifics of the product like that. Imagine the watch is like rated for 30 meters or 100 meters, whatever it is, Apple Watch or whatever. And instead of just them listing that as a thing, they show you a video that is based off your interest, diving, and they're like, look, this person is diving, and
I gotta take a step further.
they put your face on it.
No, a step further.
And then you talk to yourself, buy this watch.
Let's say I just looked at the jacket, right?
Okay.
Or a pants or whatever, something that I wanted to buy.
Yeah.
And the next video that I clip, the person who does the video wears the jacket that I was just looking at, which AI compounded to that person. And I'm like, oh my God, he looks so hot. And that's the jacket that I just want to buy.
Hold on. We're talking about that being on our phones. We're all wearing goggles and it's on you. It's like the advertisement is on your body already,
How would I look in that? So it picks up, so we can take all the videos with me. Thank God there's not that many yet. And
Soon,
obviously with this podcast there will be more.
Yeah.
But it will find your image online, face recognition,
Okay.
and it will dress you up in a product that you are just about to buy.
Well,
And you will look at yourself,
yeah.
how you would look in a product that you are just about to buy. And you'll be like, oh my God, I look great in it without ever trying it on.
I saw something like that on the Vision Pro. There's some kind of app on the Vision Pro where you could try on, I believe, shoes. um, before, like without buying them. You could just look down on your feet and they will be there, and you could like move your foot around and you could see it on your foot.
But what about imagine like whatever you had videos that you just posted like being in Europe a week ago, and you walking around the plaza and you go into museum and so and so. And instead of doing the commercial of just images of the clothes that you wanted, it will dress you up in this clothes in a video that you already recorded. And you would look, how would you look in that jacket in Rome, in that particular plaza?
And now you're like,
And I'm like, shit, I wish I had this jacket.
you got the FOMO. You got like, damn, I should have bought
I
it.
should have bought it. And you go immediately and you buy. We should be the first one to actually do this. This is an amazing idea. If you can implement the product, like you scan the product, like every company should do this. Like they will put the product on a model.
Do you know what A/B testing is?
I have no idea what you're talking
This is actually good for you to know because you're starting to run ads for your business now. In Ads Manager, do you know like where you post ads, right? Do you
Yeah.
have campaigns? You can make different ad groups, and in those ad groups, you can upload multiple, for example, multiple of the same ad, and you could give it. I don't know. Let's say you're making you have a video ad. You can make 2 or 3 videos with slight different wording or slight different variation,
about.
and you do it, you push it to the exact same audience, same everything, you give it the same exact parameters, and you see which video works. And then after that, you change one parameter and you change another parameter, and you by one, you start seeing which parameters
Which
are actually
attracts more traffic.
helping you, which ones are not working, and you kind of like what's it called, one by one you figure out what actually works, like what
Right.
subset of video, what subset of
Brings you to traffic.
title, the description, target audience, all of these things. That's called A/B testing. So you just do like A/B, and then you see which one works. You're like, okay, B works. Then you do another one with a new variation, A/B. Now A is working. Now you use this one. Like you take that from the old one, you take from B from the old one, you combine it with A. It's like you continuously.
Right. You take the one that works and then you break it again and you narrow it, keep on narrowing it
Right
down.
now, ad like managers have to do that manually. So like creative teams have to make multiple videos. Ad managers have to make multiple ads, multiple they have to do different descriptions, different all of this stuff.
I can see how AI can help it out really quick for much less money.
You, instead of putting in all of the man hours of this ad manager sitting there making each one, which is a
Will
tedious
be done
job,
in 30 seconds.
not done in 30 seconds. You make one, and then every single person that sees it, it's an A/B test automatically, because every person that sees it, it's a new piece of content. And all these pieces of content that it's producing for each person, it can tell based off that which one actually works, which one doesn't. Why did it work? Because I changed this little variable, and now because
So you can train AI to do that.
of course, it's all a matter of sample size. The bigger the sample size, the better it is.
The better the results, yes.
The more fine-tuned the result, like the closer.
Well, the possibilities are, and today we're talking about only the bright side of
I don't know if this is the bright side or
peachy
the...
side. It's a peachy side of AI.
But that's...
How it can be utilized for the better of humanity.
I don't know if this is better or worse. Maybe...
Why?
You think infinite scrolling TikTok that you cannot look away from
That's
more
the
than...
problem. That's the problem.
Look, your kid is addicted to TikTok as it is. Imagine a TikTok that does not have limitations of what content has been made on this earth, but has no limitations on content. It just can make whatever the hell it needs to keep you on the app.
I strongly believe, I mean, even me as an adult, I start seeing where it start crossing the line. It should be regulated in a certain way, but because the technology is developing so rapidly, and
But
the laws of on
yeah,
how far technology can take not catching up fast enough.
and I'll tell you something else that people seem to not realize, and they, for some reason, just because it's been given by society a different word, they don't recognize that it's the same thing, just in a different face. People don't realize that we've been living with AI already for many, many years and using it because
Not to this extent.
not to this extent, it's a different type of AI now where you are actually able to use it as a tool more than being a product of it, because the first generations of AI are AI that curated for you. So any social media, all social media is AI driven. It's all an AI algorithm behind it, which is feeding you this content. And it's a curation machine, right? Now there are AIs that were actually, it's the same technology like underneath. It's really like, in a way, it's the same technology. Now it's just doing different output, different input, different output. Before it was input of what you liked on, like what you watched on YouTube, to output videos for you to watch on YouTube. Now it's input text and output video, or input text and output image.
Yeah, but the first one, for example, I click particular videos when I go through YouTube because this is my interest. I'm interested in certain things.
Yeah.
And in suggestions, I see more videos of that sort. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it keeps me going, and it obviously recognizes what I like, how much time I spend watching videos. So it feeds me more and more videos of that kind. And for example, it was so bizarre when I was watching my political videos a few years ago when I was still into politics, not anymore.
Okay.
It was bizarre because I would choose a certain political videos, certain speakers, and it still gives me videos about surfing. And I'm like, I don't understand.
Because
The algorithm, no, it was a weird thing. I was trying to analyze the algorithm. It's like, okay, every morning I get up and I check whatever, particular speakers, somebody that I was interested in. And normally, if the algorithm would follow what I want, it will give me more of those videos. It doesn't matter what I watch. As long as I'm a user and I'm staying on YouTube, they will drop me some commercials, and that's how they make money. But it was taking me away from those videos and showing it's like, no, but you want to watch more skiing videos, more surfing.
no, I don't think, I think you're confusing two things. See, it still sees
I think it was
surfing-
curated in certain.
No. What's happening there is surfing and skiing is still as a tag. Think of it as a tag in your interests, right? And it sees that you watch this like new video that came out from the speaker that you want, that just, would you watch them when they would just come out, or like recently?
No, I wanted to watch the new ones because I was following the speaker.
So algorithm is it understands when, for example, there's a couple of channels on YouTube that I watch their videos as they come out. There's this one like what's it called, Russian guy. He's not Russian, but like whatever. That I
Who's that?
watch. What?
Was the guy?
Ruslan Usachev. He does like pretty.
I have no idea. Who's the other Russian guy?
Dude.
No. Who did the videos with Rogan, with
Lex Friedman?
Lex Friedman?
Yeah. But this guy actually speaks in Russian in
Oh, I
his
see.
videos.
Lex does too well.
What?
Lex can speak.
No, he could speak, but his channel is in English.
Right.
There's a couple of channels that I just watch when their videos just drop on YouTube, and YouTube, the algorithm is smart enough to understand that, okay, this channel and this channel, this user, when the videos just come out of this channel, they will watch them, but they're not going to watch old videos from this channel. able to understand that. So for you, it would understand that, like, okay, this speaker has a new video, let me show it to him. But after this video, he's not going to go and watch old videos of the speaker. That's not what he's like. It knows based off your previous interactions that you just watch the new videos that come out of the channel. So what does it need to do to keep you on the platform? It needs to give you something else you're interested in. And what is something else? Surfing, skiing. So it's giving you something else that you could stay, like, it's trying to keep you on the platform.
Okay, so I want to bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back, swing it back, bring it back to me.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question,
Yeah.
if I may, please.
Go ahead.
So we were just, we touched on new possibilities of AI. Where can it take us from here? And one of the cool thoughts was the products, same companies, whatever, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Zara, whatever you call it. They're selling their clothes and they can make AI. They can make those clothes. You look at yourself wearing those clothes.
Or any other
That's my question.
Yeah.
What directions you can see how this, maybe in a content production, maybe in what directions this AI can take us? What's your vision?
My vision is exactly same thing that happened to photos and to now what is starting to happen to videos is going to happen to YouTubers. This
What do you mean
content
YouTubers?
this content that they make is readily available. It's monetized via advertisement, so it's technically free to watch. Just like the photos that AI has been trained on, like some AI model, depends on the AI model, but a lot of them have been trained on actually copyrighted material, which there are now lawsuits on. But I believe that will not stop new models from being trained in the same format, where basically I believe there's gotta be in the future at least one model that comes out that is just trained on content downloaded from YouTube, from the Mr. Beasts and all.
So there will be no more Mr. Beast?
There will be, but look, there's only so much attention span that humans have, right? Because like you have to sleep, you have to work, you have to do other things, and you have to do whatever. Kids have school. There's only a certain amount of time you could be on an app watching something. You got there's
So
other
that time is highly monetized.
and what's going to happen is just like YouTube took away this time from TV, where people would come home, turn on the TV, they would watch TV. Now it's you're watching
No more TV.
no more TV.
No more TV.
You go to a streaming platform to watch like Netflix or something, or you go to YouTube, you watch your YouTuber. So just as they basically took that attention away from television, and there's still you would think, oh, people wouldn't want to watch AI generated Mr. Beast, right? But that's the exact same thing that I would say my grandparents would say about YouTube. They look at the TV, they're like, no, I don't want to watch Mr. Beast on YouTube. I want to watch my my
Whatever
talk
the
show,
talk show,
yeah,
whatever
like
that thing is. Yes.
so I think the exact same thing is going to happen with a new generation, and this new generation of content. Basically, it'll go hand in hand. The new generation will be with looking at the new generation of content, which is going to be AI generated content, and there might be even either the current platforms have to adjust to that, or new platforms will come and kill the old platforms.
I'm gonna ask you a tricky question. We're sitting here,
Yeah.
and we're producing content.
Yeah.
We talk about the stuff that are interesting to us, in this rapidly developing world of AI and technology. And we are hoping that there would be people out there that would appreciate this conversation, that would be interesting to them.
Yeah.
Thoughts, how it's going to develop. This is the reason for this podcast.
Yeah.
We enjoy them. We hope other people will enjoy it as well. So you trying to tell me that AI will try to mimic those type of things, that content that we produce as humans is sentient, bringing our feelings, emotions, and everything into this podcast would be useless in the next 5 years, because AI can pretend there are people who are not, I'm not a Joe Rogan with a 2000 something podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to bring my thoughts, my feeling into the game. None of this will be relevant any longer.
I think
People
it
will
will
not-
be as relevant as TV is today.
I hope it's going to be more relevant than TV today, because we have actual human feelings.
Well-
and most of the people who are sitting and, selling you stuff on TV, I don't know if they're even humans any longer. They have
Or-
no feelings. They're
Well,
just trying to
that's-
push their company agenda.
That's the
They're
thing.
not authentic. There's no authenticity
That's
in
the
that.
thing that developers understand, that to emit emotion, you don't need to produce emotion. You need to produce, you can reference a look of emotion. You can
Nah,
replicate.
I don't believe it. I believe people feel authenticity. I believe, if somebody tells me the story, just give me 1 second. If somebody tells me the story of his life, I can tell not by the content of the story, not the audio content of the story, by looking at this person, by connecting what he's saying, his gestures, his eyes, the story. I
And-
can tell if the story is authentic and if it creates a particular feelings inside me, or I know it's a script. He just learned about the story and he's trying to sell the story as his own. And I believe that I will be able for a while to tell the difference between AI generated story versus authentic story.
I think that you won't. For
Yes, I will. I gotta give you right now a story from my childhood
no.
that no AI can fake it
Until this gets
until I
fed
tell
to
the story.
until you tell the story and this gets fed to an AI.
But it's still gonna be an authentic story of mine.
Yeah, but once the AI uses this plus another million other stories that it heard from other places and creates its own,
AI has no feeling for
it
the
doesn't
story.
have to.
It does.
It needs reference.
It's not.
It needs reference.
I
All it needs
believe
is reference.
it's the look at my face. I believe the eyebrows. I believe there's so many different components to it.
It will reference all that. It will put that all together. Just like it made that woman walk down that street.
But it was not emotional. It was visual. It was beautifully visual, but
Fine.
not emotional.
Fine.
I mean, if she would walk naked, it would be a little bit more emotional for me. But then we go into, God, how does it go? Uncanny Valley?
Exactly. There you go. That's always where technology
What's the
breaks.
valley? What is it called?
I know you. Uncanny Valley. Yeah.
Uncanny
But
Valley.
that's always where technology breakthroughs begin, aren't they? Porn, right? So if you want to look,
Hey, don't touch the porn.
if you want to look at what's going to happen to influencers, look at what's happening to porn, because I believe there's already a lot of AI generated porn out there. And
I haven't seen one. Not that I'm watching the lot of it, but
I believe, I mean, I've seen people on Twitter talk about it, and there's like a lot of, there's even these like deep like fakes that you could make of new like people. You could basically like upload an image of a person's face and you can make a nude of them. It's
now
So-
you just open up the can of worms.
So, like- so like that works, right? And that is being used and people are making money off that. And that is going to happen to creators on YouTube the exact same way. So these creators are going to be replaced. What happens?
No, hold on.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna be replaced. But what I think
Was TV
It-
replaced?
no, because right now it's relatively easy to become a content creator online. You create your little channel,
Yeah.
you drop enough videos, and you will have your followers, maybe
Yeah.
not like Mr. Beast, but you will have a certain following thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, you gotta be smart about the content you're like. You gotta, but
right.
yeah,
But there's so much garbage content
Yeah.
which still get traction, like enormous amount of garbage traction.
or yeah,
So with AI, it will filter through creative personalities versus
it already does. That's what YouTube does. That's the algorithm.
right. But let me put it this way. I'll give you an example. In order for you to truly be engaged and your content will override AI content, it will have to be not even personal because you can create personal. It will have to be it will have to be much more human, less of a painting on the wall. Not just you sitting and you reading is like, oh, the yen was built and blah blah blah, and I'm so pretty and my lips are all jacked up and all this blinking of the eyes. You will have to become the true content creators will be much more human, and people will be able to tell the difference for now. For a certain amount of time, like this person is human and this is a generation, because we feel people through emotions, and it will take it's very easy to recreate the image and make it very realistic, like that woman walking the streets of Tokyo.
Okay.
But the moment that she has to get emotional and reach to you,
But
that will be a much harder break.
You're thinking about the outside shot, right, of her walking. But then there was right after there was like a shot of her turning her head with the reflection in her glasses. That's quite an emotional, actually. Like I'm thinking of like just putting it in an edit and like music and like in a movie or some kind of like you could.
Does she speak to you?
Well, it doesn't have audio, but AI is going to make the audio. It's going to make the voices. It's going to make the story. It's going to put it all together. It's going to work. It's going to do all this thing.
Right.
Just listen. You heard us asking Jamie about that painting. And that painting, how did they make it? They had two AIs, one critiquing the work, one making the painting, and they would work, one after the other. One would make it, they were like, okay, I don't like this part, I make this part like this, okay, this one would make it. And it would keep going until it agreed that both of them were like, okay, I like it, there's nothing else to make, good, we're done. Or like until, I don't know, maybe until the person stopped it. I don't know how it worked, but either way, it was two AIs. And there are already projects out there which allow you to create a team of AIs that work together, like one manager, one script writer, one image generator, one person that is what's it called? Continuity, like for a checker. You have all these kind of like little AIs, and each one is its own little chatbot. And each one of them is like communicating with the rest. And these are already projects that they're being worked on. They're nowhere near ready or like consumer level, I'd say. But it's getting to that point where in a couple of months and in a year or so, I think there will be teams of AI you will hire.
I'm going to give you a very simple example.
Okay.
And after this, you're going to have it.
Sure.
But
I was thinking that we gotta come to a close.
Right.
Yeah.
No. But this is something very important that all of us can relate to, or everybody who's watching.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you a question and I'm gonna answer it for you, but then you will answer it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you select your friends? And to me, like if it's a hypothetical question, and we are all sentient. There's no AI and you are not robotic.
Okay.
You are a real human being. Okay. We're all sitting in a room.
If you like to believe that.
I
believe it's all simulation.
Yeah,
I don't know
there
if
is
you're
something
real.
that I need to know. Please reveal it now. But okay, there's an evening. We're sitting at the table, we're chatting, and then you go outside to take a breath, and somebody's walking away with you, and you have a chat. Just a normal chat. what attracts us is authenticity, no bullshit. It doesn't matter if this authenticity is pink or dark or gray or whatever it is. Me personally, I like to socialize with people who doesn't have hundreds of different codes covering them. Like, this is the image that I want to project to you. Like, I'm a businessman and I'm a lover and this. I like to talk to people who talk to me authentically.
Okay.
You know, I value this quality for my friends.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what color this authenticity is, it could be dark or it could be light or whatever. I value human factor. I value the factor where you can open your heart to me. And if you do, your rating, and there is no rating, but I would value more as a friend because you are honest to me. I felt that you were true. And if you show your vulnerable side to me, it raises you even higher because you are so comfortable with me that you are showing me your vulnerable side.
Okay.
And I value you as a friend more.
Makes sense.
How can AI replicate that? It's impossible because even in the human world, but even in the human world, we can see those little differences between human. When humans talk to us with masks, it's like he tells how everything is fantastic in his family, and I know that it's not. Like you talk to me, for example, and everything you say, I know it's bullshit. And I have to sit here, not you, but I can feel that it's bullshit. From a sentient, I can feel that it's bullshit.
I will answer.
It will be so much easier for me to pick it from AI.
I'll answer you this question, but then we gotta end.
We ended. Answer me. And kumaya.
Yeah. We can fake authenticity with AI just, again, by giving it a large enough sample size. What do I mean? We take a sample size of human behavior that is tracked by whatever sensors or metrics we want to give. So maybe it's AI like this that you're wearing or something like that. And let's say this AI's point is not that, but let's say it was to, at one point, basically kind of become your friend, right? You want an authentic friend, like it's supposed to kind of mimic being what it would do is just based off of a large sample size of people, it would look at what works best in which scenario with which person, and then it would look at you, which type of person you are, and which scenario do you fit most, and based off the sample size, it has thousands and millions of references it could kind of collect as a puzzle together what your dynamic would look like for your, so it's just a fine tuning.
So you believe it will be able to replicate authenticity?
Yes. I believe that we are building the exact neural network that we have in our brains, just in a digital form.
On this note, when I strongly disagree with you, we will have to end this podcast. Pleasure as always.